Warning, this podcast may change the way you think about business, entrepreneurship, and money forever. The Conquistador Podcast was created for dreamers, entrepreneurs, and leaders who want to conquer their future. To be an epic entrepreneur, you must adopt the right mental paradigms as well as master the art of selling, marketing, and finance. Now, it's time to welcome two serial entrepreneurs, leaders, husbands, and fathers who are passionate about sharing the strategies that are helping them excel in life and in business. Here are Mauricio Garcia and Hubert Humphrey.
What an amazing moment it is every time that we have the opportunity to begin another one of these podcasts. Remember that the Conquistador Podcast was created for all those driven, determined dreamers who are looking for the secrets, the keys, the strategies, the paradigms that are going to help them excel in business. And to talk about these kind of topics, I'm always joined by my mentor, my friend, my partner, Hubert Humphrey. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing wonderful today. Glad to be with you. Glad to see that entrepreneur shirt on. That lets them know exactly who we're talking to.
Hey, I'm fired up. We had a great Conquer event last week, and this past weekend, and really took a lot of great things. Learned a lot. Always is. I can understand more and more why the businesses you've built in the past has really gravitated around great events, because you really get that experience, you get that vision stretching. So I want to thank everybody that joined us for that great event, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last one that we put together for our community out there.
Right. Well, that's always been the history that I've seen, is we build from great event to great event, and of course a great event, you could put the word great event on something, but the real label of great comes when you see the results of the event. Some days or weeks or months, if there's great success from people and great growth and results, then we'll say that was a great event. But it was sure. Great in its planning. It was great in its execution. We'll see if it's great in its results by how the people take it and go forward here. So some great stuff was put out there in a big way. All right.
Well, awesome. Well, let's jump into the topic of today, because there's something I hear you say a lot is, one of the keys to success is making sure that you keep your motor, your trying motor, going. Keep that going. It's to persevere, right? And let's talk about that, because obviously as an entrepreneur and just in life in general, you're going to have a lot of setbacks. And so having that capacity, that ability to be able to get up one more time is going to be critical to success. And so what would you have to say regarding that, just to kick off the topic today?
Well, if obviously there's so many things to say about trying. Trying is where it all starts. Trying implies you've got enough will inside of you, enough resolve inside of you to actually ignite something and put some effort forward down a certain path, and you're taking at least the initial steps. Without those initial steps, all the other things won't happen. And so trying is everything. In fact, it's you mentioned if you get up one more time, life's pretty tough out there. It always will be. And it's what separates the winners from the losers, and the wish-mores from the have-mores, and the haves and the have-nots, is who can get up one more time than they've been knocked down. Because we're all going to be knocked back. We're going to be knocked down. The winds are going to blow, and we're either going to set our sails and it's going to blow us forward, or it's going to blow us back. In fact, there is no. A lot of people think there's a status quo. I haven't seen status quo. You're either growing or dying. And it's all based upon how long and how hard you keep trying. Just keep that trying motor going. That's our main subject today, and it's very important.
No, the fear of failing again. Sometimes when you fail once, right, to do something, it hurt, and you make sure you don't try again. And that may be true in some things, right? If you get hurt physically for doing something, but it's definitely not in business, probably. And so how would you find the strength, or what is that paradigm shift that needs to happen in our mind just to really understand that the failure is part of the growing process, and you need to keep that motor, that trine motor going in spite of continuous failures, because I think that is probably one of the main reasons people try one thing, they fail, they go bankrupt in the first business that they tried, or something like that, and that's it. They'll forever go back and find refugee in a 9-to-5 job, and it's like, I won't try that again.
Well, just don't ever turn your dream machine off, and just always dare to dream, keep dreaming, because that's where all the energy comes from. That's where the attempt to try something, to even have a failure, had to come because you had some dream, and when you shut that dream off, all engines are off. There'll be no more trying. There'll be no more getting up. There'll be no more going forward, and you've let life basically beat you. And you can't do that. So dare to keep dreaming. Too many of our people out there are what I call dream dead. Not that they were born dream dead. Is that they haven't used their dream muscles. They haven't cranked up their dream machine, or they've, like you said, they've had some failures and they're shrinking back. And
right.
you can't do that in life. You got to keep moving forward. In fact, trying is a part of life. It's like going through the refiner's fire. If you were out taking steel and trying to refine it and make it hard, the more heat, you got to put more heat to it. You got to hit it harder. All those types of things make steel just stronger. So that's what we're going through in life, and it's the repetition of things that causes success. And repetition is nothing but the magic of compound trying. You're trying and you keep trying and you keep trying. And if you can layer enough levels of trying on something, you usually get there. That's what I found out. Just hanging in there. There's no saying about just hang in there, baby. That's sometimes that's all you can do is just hang in there until circumstances change, until you get that next wave of energy, and then you go at it again. Just don't give up. That's the main thing.
Yeah, and I think, earlier, before we actually started the podcast today, we were talking about, we're joking about the middle-age crisis thing that men go through, and I'm not going to get that deep into in the podcast, but you said something very interesting, which is, hey, the minute you think, that your best years are in the past, is you're pretty much done, because you're kind of shutting off that dream machine. And I think it relates to keeping your trine motor going, right? You build a muscle over time, and you build this new paradigm way of thinking that as long as you are physically, mentally capable of, you just keep that motor going. That you can you actually will develop that into a habit that will go with you until your last day, until your last breath.
That's right. And I learned a principle a long time ago that really started to improve my life and caused me to realize that the importance of trying for me was this principle called career best effort, CBE. Where I realized that the only person I was really competing against was my new you. Presently, was competing against my old you. And as long as the new you can eventually beat the new you in some mark, something you're doing, you're going to grow. It's when the new you never ever can beat the old you. If your best days are all behind you, anything good in your life is all behind you. Your best decade. You asked me earlier what decade, and I told you my best decade is the decade I'm in now, and then the next decade will be the best decade. It's the decade you're in now. It's the situation you're in now. It's got to be the one you're focused on, and your goal is to make the new you, the new time, this new company, this new whatever it is you're trying. Make sure it becomes your best ever. Now, will it? It's up to you. But the attempt and the intent has got to be there for the new you to beat the old you.
Absolutely. One of the things I'd like to share is that in order for me to be motivated and keeping my trine motor going is just getting better at whatever it is that we do, a little bit every single day, whether that's 1%, let's just say if we do that, because there's a motivation behind it. If you take a kind of like a long-term approach and understand and enjoy the process, just getting better at things every single day, it really injects that energy in me. I don't know for you, but I have found that if I keep trying, even if I am failing, because if you're not failing, you're not trying. And if you're trying, you're getting better. And if you're getting better, your motivation is higher. And obviously your vision is expanding. And you're learning how to obviously overcome those similar type of challenges that will come. What have you done over the last 40 years to just stay motivated, to keep your trying motor going? Is it more about just having big dreams? And then the dream is so big that helps you pretty much overcome all the challenges you basically go through every day? What is it?
Well, that last thing you said, in the very beginning, I don't know that I had a dream big enough to do what you just said. But very quickly, as I got down the road to success in financial services and in this new era that I've been in the last 40 years, the dreams I had and kept dreaming bigger dreams and bigger dreams and bigger dreams, those dreams were so big that they swept me along. They just pulled me along, and I just couldn't dare look back. Satchel Paige, a great baseball player from back in the 40s and 50s, he played until he was in his late 50s in the major leagues, and people used to say, Satchel, when are you going to slow down, man? When are you going to retire? Baseball players usually threw about 33 or 4, something like that. And he said, I can't slow down because somebody might be gaining on me. So he had that fear of slowing down, and so I just think it's that there's a quote that says, "It matters not if you try and fail fail again, but it matters much if you try and fail to try again." The key is don't fail to try again, because as you said, it's going to keep giving you experience.
Right.
That's how you learn. That's how you get better over and over and over again.
Right. Now, when we speak about being in business, right, being an entrepreneur, everybody knows that it's really about taking risk. I kind of look for it on purpose. It's not that I'm going to go out there and just take stupid risk, or just how do I say that? It's not unmanageable risk, but just taking risk for the sake of taking risk, but just try to do more. And what I find is that the minute you put on a new challenge and you take on a new risk per se, like doing a podcast, right? Like expanding your reach and your market, like doing things that are outside your comfort zone, that gives you, first of all, it demonstrates your capacity to solve these different problems. And it also adds to that motivation, because to me, being able to solve a problem, it makes me feel obviously good, and it gives me confidence to take on even more risk. So it helps that trying motor going as well. Because from the beginning, I knew I was taking this risk. I was venturing into this new thing I didn't know I wasn't an expert on, and it really helped. So that may be not a comfortable thing for many entrepreneurs, knowing that they have to continuously take on new challenges or risks, said in another way.
Well, I think obviously, no pain, no gain, and you gotta take a risk. The number one thing people have to risk is more than money, or obviously if you're talking about risking in money or do something, you got to look at the risk reward side of things. If there's a high reward and a very low risk, from an economic standpoint, that's how you evaluate those kinds of risks. And sometimes certain people will, just like a poker game, it's all in. They just push all the chips in and risk it all. And I could give you some great stories in my life where I've been all in, and if I hadn't, we wouldn't be talking today. And but getting back to something that'll affect everybody on an everyday basis, the main thing you've got to risk is getting out of your comfort zone. Just a lot of people you got to risk what people might say about you. What if this doesn't work out as good? What if What if it affects your so-called quote-unquote reputation, which is meaningless? It's those little things that if most people can get past that and be able to risk a little bit of emotional frailty, they'll be so much better. And they'll go. It's like a turtle. If a turtle doesn't stick his neck out, he doesn't move forward.
How many thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, and even possibly millions, and now I may be exaggerating, what I'm trying to say is that you've seen millions of people come to your system in the last 40 years or so, right? To say that recruited 2.5 million people, maybe more, probably how many of them would you say that gave up because somebody told them to quit, to just quit, because they wouldn't be successful as a percentage, you would say?
Well, I'd say of the people that joined but didn't stay at it long enough to even take root, right. I would say probably 75-80% of them were highly influenced by what somebody said to them or the fear of no. Most people cannot take no. No is a killer for most people. Any kind of rejection. Everybody's, our whole emotional system is designed to test us in life, and one of the best ways to test us is how can we take no, how can we take rejection, if somebody hurts our feelings, if something scares us, any of these negative emotions come against us, how do we respond? And most people aren't equipped to do that, and I mean, they give up too quickly. So that's the great killer. In life is a lot of times it's the fear of rejection keeps you from ever even starting, and then a little bit of rejection stops you, and constant rejection puts you totally out of the business. So I mean it's kind of a staged thing if you let it go. So the key is we just need to teach ourselves and our people that we're working with that just face the fear and it'll disappear. That's the key. That's what I've seen. Anytime you'll just go right head on into fear is a coward. Fear is a bully. Fear, right. punch it in the nose, it goes away. And that's what I've done in life. I just haul off and punch it in the face, and it doesn't bother me anymore.
Well, it is scary. I mean, to talk about the number, 80% plus in your experience, just because somebody else told them they couldn't get no. I think you've got to. As an entrepreneur, if you're going to be successful, you've got to, probably one of the most important things is that you really have to embrace rejection and understand that you got to go through the no's. If you're hearing from Hubert with the vast experience and what he's done, that is one of the main reasons people give up on their dreams and not keep their train motor going, well, there you go. And that's why it was so critical to talk about this today. And I think another thing that we can look for and try to remember on a daily basis is the why. I'm probably somebody that could, at least initially, wasn't comfortable really sharing my why. Like and maybe I didn't even really understand what my why was. I probably not the only one. In this situation, probably many entrepreneurs don't really know their why, and if they don't know their why, then it's how can they use that to keep their train motor on going? Does that make any sense? It's like remembering your why is really something that can help you from snap out of a moment of crisis.
Well, I know one thing. If I use any kind of, there's positive fear and there's negative fear. And my positive fear is that I can't get there fast enough. The positive fear is that somebody else is going to beat me to something. Not that I'm not going to get there, but I just want to get out there and make sure that I win the game I'm in, and not at all costs, but I want to win. And so, but the thing about fear, a lot of times all fear isn't or what do I say, all the trying isn't sometimes about what somebody else is going to say to you or scare you or think bad about you. It's just your own self. So a lot of people just say, I can't live with myself, if I tried something and it didn't work, my ego wouldn't let me do that. They're so emotionally insecure and fragile in their own self that they can't even they just can't live with their own self being that way, and they're too worried about those types of things. But the key is this. Let me give you a good definition of the type of trying that I recommend for our listening audience. Okay. It's what is it that you're trying to do? Are you trying to do something at a small level, a medium level, or something at a high level? And of course, this will work for anything. But if you're out there choosing the more excellent way to try in, and you're gonna instead of trying for the bronze medal, you're gonna try for the silver or the gold. Or, you're gonna aim for something bigger. Here's a great definition of trying. It's the unceasing quest for excellence. Unceasing quest for excellence. That's a powerful definition of trying at its highest form. And why not just adopt that in your life? And anything you do less than that, you'll be better for having pursued it at a high level here. All we want to do in life as leaders here, trying to teach people and give them better ideas, is that we want to help people to become better than themselves. We want to get the best out of them, and that's what trying allows that to happen. And I just hope the people know that we live in the greatest country in the world. We've got the free enterprise system. Everybody can have anything that they want. They just got to dare to dream it. Number one, and they've got to keep their trying motor going. And there's a great tape from about 40, 50 years ago I heard by Jay Van Andel, who was former chairman of Amway. He was Mr. Inside at the Amway headquarters, and he said he had a tape called "Try or Cry." He talks about you got to keep trying, keep your trying motor going, keep trying, or quit crying about it. In other words, if somebody came to him crying about something, and he knows that they've quit trying, he didn't have any humor for him, any patience for him. He said, "Look, quit sucking your thumb, quit crying about it. As long as you're trying, if you're trying, there's no time for crying. Don't blame others. Don't blame other people. Don't cry about things in the past. Put your head down and go do it again and again and again. And now, obviously, make course corrections along the way. So if what you're trying to do, the reason why you're failing is that you're doing the wrong thing, well, a lot of times trying leads you to the right thing. Like we mentioned this before in another podcast. Thomas Edison had like 10,000 failures in his attempt to develop the light bulb. He knew what he was trying to develop. He knew it could be done, and he just had to try. He didn't keep trying. I promise you, he didn't keep trying the same little thing he did. He tried something different. Right. 10,000 times he tried something different till it worked. So the key is to keep trying in search of that thing in life that you're trying to accomplish, and don't give up.
What better example of perseverance to change the world? We wouldn't be having this podcast if those 10,000 failures had not taken place.
That's right.
So that is awesome. I think the message is there. I couldn't say it any better. So Hubert, that would be pretty much it for our podcast today. I do want to make a reminder here to everybody to go and check out the best opportunity in the country today, and that is the opportunity that Hegemon Group International has for that driven, determined dreamer out there. If you're looking for the vehicle, and when I say vehicle, I mean the one opportunity that you can get on and that's going to take you to where you want to go financially, that would be the opportunity that's being offered right now by Hegemon Group International. They are the sponsor of this podcast. Without their support, this wouldn't be possible. So please check them out. Go and look at the opportunity and compare it to whatever you're doing. Look at that potential of that opportunity to whatever it is that you're doing, and you will understand why I say that is the greatest opportunity in America today. to check out the whole presentation of what they have to offer, just go to hgiopportunity.com. That is hgiopportunity.com. You'll see a full presentation, and you'll be able to reach out to a representative there that's going to explain you even further what the opportunity is all about. So with that being said, Hubert, I think we'll wrap it up for today. I'm excited for our topic tomorrow. But that's it, sir. Have an awesome day. And everybody that is listening, I do also, before actually we go, I do want to remind you that if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure that you comment, let us know what are those things that you have encountered in your life as far as the problems and what has kept your trying motor going. Make sure that you subscribe, you like, and share. If you're listening to us on Spotify, on any of the podcast platforms, make sure to share as well. Make sure that other entrepreneurs are listening to the real fundamentals here, the real secrets to success, which is what we share here at the Conquistador Podcast. With that being said, I'll see you tomorrow, and thank you for your time.
Warning, this podcast may change the way you think about business, entrepreneurship, and money forever. The Conquistador Podcast was created for dreamers, entrepreneurs, and leaders who want to conquer their future. To be an epic entrepreneur, you must adopt the right mental paradigms as well as master the art of selling, marketing, and finance.